In today's dynamic world of leadership, there are leaders who are beacons of hope and growth. Great leaders are just not the title, but also a combination of their leadership styles. Today we have with us Mr. Vinit Majgaonkar, who is the chairman and founder of Armstrong Dramatics. He's not only added immense value for the growth of Armstrong, but also to individuals. Join me in a conversation with him. When you hit the order button on your preferred e-commerce service, something magical happens in the back end. And Armstrong Dramatics are the wizards behind it. A global leader providing AI and BI-enabled intralogistics and warehouse automation solutions, Armstrong Dramatics combines global knowledge with local expertise, deep understanding of industry drivers, and success across industry segments to provide world-class solutions.
Marksman Daily presents C-Suite Conversations.
Thank you so much, sir, for making time for the interview.
Pleasure.
So my first and foremost question to you is only so that we understand you a lot better than we already do. As a chairman and the founder of Armstrong, what has been your entire style of leadership and where did you begin from?
Interesting. So, I have grown as a leader over the last 25 years. When the company was small, when I founded it, of course, you have to take charge, you have to do things on your own. But as you grow big and when you have hundreds of people working with you, obviously you have to learn to delegate better. But long story short, I would say is that, I'm a great believer of level 5 leadership, as Professor Jim Collins calls it. And simply put, you can also call it as servant leadership, so leading from behind. So my style of leadership is that, I select the right people, I empower them to do their job, and then I just kind of ensure that I get the hurdles removed out of their way and let them work. I never get into their way and tell them what to do. Isn't it? It's foolish to have smart people, hire smart people and then tell them what to do. So we don't do that. In leadership, I believe that, it's like always different strokes for different folks. So it depends on what sort of a person is working with you, and depending upon that person's competence, skill, will, you have to use different techniques of how to deal with that person. So this is my overall. So in a single word, I would say level 5 leadership is what I normally go by.
So you've extensively worked at the grassroots level and also been an enabler to many. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, so when me and my co-founder brother, we decided to start Armstrong, it was just two brothers and a dream. And when we decided, what shall we do, where shall we start this business, it came up that, okay, well, let us start in the village in which we were born and brought up. And that was because our parents were philanthropists and we had to do something to carry the legacy that they had. Now, this is a village which is about 40% Adivasis. The rest of them are sons of farmers. And how do you start a robotics and automation company in a village where our factory is, where we started? To begin with, we grappled with many challenges, like we had 18 hours of power cut. We started in 1999, and the kids today won't even understand what a power cut is, perhaps. But we had 18 hours of power cut. When we applied for a telephone, it took us, we were lucky that we got our telephone line in 3 years.
Wow.
As against the waiting period that was like 5 years at that point of time. No skilled workers available. So literally, my brother, who is the operations director, he would go to the local ITI schools. He would motivate the kids. He would onboard them.
Give them the kind of training that is required.
The training is required. So our training cycle is pretty long period. It takes us 2 to 4 years to train people because they start from the grassroots level. People ask us, where do you start? At what point do you start the training? So we used to start training by teaching the kids how to wear the shoes. These kids, being from the Adivasis and the sons of farmers, they were accustomed not to wear any shoes at all. And in the industrial shop floor, when you have to wear the shoes,
It's basic.
You need to wear the safety shoes. And they would come complaining that, look, we are unable to stand with these shoes on. And how can we work? These shoes are making us unsafe. So these funny experiences we had. So nobody can believe that the training can start at teaching people to wear shoes. And from there, when we start, there's a long way that these people have traveled. For example, the head of manufacturing of all our 3 plants now, he is one of these young boys who joined us in year 2000 as a welder. And over this period of years, he's grown up today to be the head of all these 3 plants. So wonderful stories we have got. So every person who works with us has got those stories. And my job and our founder's job is basically to help people build their stories.
Supposingly you were in the chairman of this company, what would you be?
So your question has 2 facets. Today, if you ask me, my answer might stun you. I would be a monk. As a school kid, I always wanted to be a fighter jet pilot. Then I navigated, as I went for my engineering, I navigated towards stock markets and actually was a stockbroker during my engineering. So at the age of 18, I took a sub-brokership. I started trading, then I took a brokership. So this went on until 95. As I told you, my father was a philanthropist. And when he was supposed to be operated for bypass in 95, there were many people who would come and who would also give money because he hadn't earned too much of money. And this is an unknown Adivasi. With a friend, he's sending his week's saving of 100 rupees and says, okay, go and give it to Dr. Majgaonkar and for his surgery. And don't tell him my name because he will scold me. At our current scale that we are India's biggest intralogistics automation company. And at this scale with 750 direct employees and blah, 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 we are still a 0 loan company. But I have a personal loan of 100 rupees on me. And that is something which I cannot repay for my entire lifetime. And what I'm doing today is perhaps, just trying to repay those 100 rupees.
We were talking about money and emotions, and I think this is the right example that denotes that no matter how much you earn, that little gesture, especially when you need it, it's magic. And that is why you need your people. So my next question to you is, how important are people to you in an organization?
So it's actually just last Sunday, we got one of the prestigious awards of Dr. Anita Outset Foundation, which is a prestigious social reforms or social revolution award. It's called as the Sangharsha Samman Award in Pune, just 3 days ago.
Many congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. And in the history of 27 years of this award, for the first time, they honored a corporate for having a social impact. Their earlier awards were placed in very great hands, in very big hands, which were of course, great social reformers and social revolutionaries. And here is Armstrong, which gets rewarded with the Sangharsha Samman Award for social impact. Since you asked me how important are people, that is the foundation of our institution. We believe in stakeholder capitalism, not in a shareholder capitalism. That is the core of our foundation. We draw our inspiration from Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Some people unfortunately use that name for political gains. We don't. We live by his principles. You will see a lot of books there, and which are based on, written down on his principles of the way he would conduct his entire affairs. Anything that comes in front of us then becomes so easy and solvable that it becomes a cakewalk for us.
And it's backed by his wisdom. So,
if you don't have time to read the entire Ramayana, the Sri Krishna's personality, or even for that matter Chanakya, just understand Shivaji. If you understand Chhatrapati Shivaji, you get the crux of all these 3 great men. And this is all kind of funneled into just this one man, and much beyond that. We see a huge amount of management principles. You can see the Peter Drucker, you can see a Michael Porter. So in fact, there are 5 episodes on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the CEO, done by Dr. Anand Nadkarni. And I would recommend all our viewers, especially the CEOs, there's a lot to learn. When we say that is our core or foundation, as you know, the word Swaraj, which we know because of Tilak, but that original word came from Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So the name of his kingdom was called Swaraj. And Swaraj means the kingdom of the people. So Armstrong is the Swaraj. It has got the same concept.
What's that one valuable advice you'd like to give to the youth?
Sakshi, I believe that I would say that always deliver more than you are paid for. I'll tell you. You love pani puri?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. You go to the corner pani puri thele wala. You have your pani puri, 5 or 6 pieces, whatever you pay for. After you're done, you have that
Sukhi puri.
sukhi puri. That is above what you pay for. Just remember that. Whenever you work, anything you do, any profession you're into business or you're into job or whatever you do, always deliver more than that you're paid for.
What are your personal and professional goals that you'd like to achieve by the end of this year?
For myself, if you ask me,
Yes.
in the coming year, I'm planning to get my pilot license done,
Oh, wow.
a
that's
private
interesting.
pilot license. For the organization, coming year is normally a small time frame. So the next 5 years, we are building up, growing this organization, strengthening it, and we plan to get listed maybe. And so preparing the organization for that event is something that we are working on while we strengthen the organization.
Many congratulations on that, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This was my conversation with Mr. Vinit Majgaonkar, who spoke about building Armstrong from scratch, challenges and growth chart. Thank you so much for giving C-Suite Conversation so much love, and I look forward to the next episode of the same.